Alright, thank you.
The major reason why Jjwan decided not to renew his contract with Jjwan Ramen has turned out to be far more complex and specific than many people initially assumed. On the surface, it looked like a normal business situation. A contract ends, both sides move on, and the partnership concludes naturally. However, for fans who have followed BTS closely for years, the situation feels much deeper and more emotional than that. Jjwan and Jjwan Ramen were never just a simple endorsement relationship between a celebrity and an instant noodle brand. Over time, it evolved into a powerful combination of identity, image, and organic chemistry that felt almost inseparable. Since 2022, when Jjwan was first announced as the face of Jjwan Ramen, the collaboration quickly became one of the most successful idol brand partnerships in the Korean food industry. Jjwan's warm personality, natural humor, and globally recognized image as worldwide handsome gave the campaign a unique authenticity. Fans did not simply see a commercial model promoting noodles. They saw Jjwan genuinely enjoying the product, joking about it, and making it part of his personal brand. That authenticity resonated strongly with fans across the world. As a result, Jjwan Ramen experienced a remarkable surge in global visibility. International fans who had never previously purchased Korean instant noodles suddenly began searching for the product specifically because of Jjwan. Online communities were filled with posts showing fans buying boxes of Jjwan Ramen, sharing recipes, and treating the product almost like a symbolic connection to the artist they loved. The brand's exports expanded significantly, and Jjwan Ramen gradually became associated with Jjwan himself in the public imagination. For many fans, the connection became so strong that Jjwan Ramen almost felt like an extension of Jjwan's identity. His name was literally part of the product's name, which made the collaboration feel unusually personal. Unlike many endorsement deals that feel purely commercial, this one felt natural and organic. That is why the news that Jjwan would not renew the contract shocked so many people. Fans immediately began asking the same question: why would Jjwan walk away from something that had been so successful and so closely tied to his image? The answer, according to emerging industry discussions, may lie in a much bigger development happening behind the scenes, one involving HYB and a major food company connected to Paldo. Recently, reports surfaced that HYBE, a food company known for its connections in the Korean food industry, formed a joint venture with HYB through a share acquisition structure. This move represents a significant escalation in the level of cooperation between the entertainment industry and the food industry. Instead of simply using celebrity endorsements for marketing campaigns, companies are now forming deeper business partnerships designed to expand global distribution and brand influence. This partnership is part of a broader trend in which Korean food companies leverage globally recognized K-content intellectual property to strengthen their export competitiveness. The global spread of Korean culture, especially through K-pop, dramas, and entertainment content, has created unprecedented opportunities for food brands to enter international markets. By linking food products with globally recognized artists, companies can quickly capture the attention of international consumers. In fact, HYBE has already collaborated with HYB before. Since 2018, the company has applied BTS's licensed intellectual property to coffee products, using the group's global recognition to increase brand awareness. However, the new joint venture signals a much deeper level of collaboration. Industry insiders believe this partnership could expand beyond BTS to include other HYB artists as well, with a strong focus on the United States market. Within this context, rumors began spreading that BTS had filmed a commercial for a Korean brand associated with Paldo, possibly for its famous Bibamayan ramen product. If this rumor is accurate, it would explain why Jjwan could not continue his Jjwan Ramen deal. The issue becomes one of brand conflict. When a group as globally influential as BTS becomes the face of a particular ramen brand through a strategic joint venture, allowing one member to simultaneously represent a competing ramen product would create a clear conflict of interest. From a corporate perspective, maintaining a unified brand identity becomes essential. This is why many fans now believe Jjwan's decision was not simply a personal choice, but a strategic sacrifice for the sake of the group. Jjwan Ramen was undeniably successful during his time as ambassador. sales increased dramatically, and the product gained global recognition. In many markets, Jjwan Ramen even achieved record-breaking sales numbers during Jjin's tenure as the brand's representative model. Industry data also supports the immense commercial impact Jjwan has had in the food sector. For example, when Dongwon FNB appointed Jjwan as a representative model, exports of major product categories, including tuna, tteokbokki, seaweed, kimchi, ready-to-eat meals, beverages, and even pet food, increased by approximately 20% year-on-year during the third quarter of the previous year. This demonstrates how powerful a globally recognized artist's influence can be when integrated into food marketing strategies. Because of this impact, Jjwan has frequently been mentioned in industry discussions about artist intellectual property operations. Since February, his name has appeared repeatedly in articles discussing the HYB joint venture, often cited as a major example of how artist IP can drive real sales growth rather than just short-term marketing buzz. Yet this success is also precisely what makes the situation so complicated. Jjwan's influence is so strong that companies must carefully manage how his image is used within larger strategic partnerships. If BTS becomes the central face of a ramen product through a joint venture with HYB, it would be difficult to maintain separate endorsements that compete directly with that partnership. For fans, however, the emotional reaction has been intense. Some supporters expressed frustration, wondering whether HYB blocked Jjwan from continuing his Jjwan Ramen contract in order to prioritize the group's upcoming collaboration. Comments circulating online reflect these concerns. Some fans even argued that Jjwan should have been allowed to endorse both brands simultaneously, especially given how strongly Jjwan Ramen was associated with him. Another detail that fueled speculation is the fact that Jjwan Ramen reportedly continued expressing interest in renewing the contract until recently. As late as January, the brand was still publicly mentioning that they were waiting for BTS's comeback and hoping for continued collaboration. This suggests that the brand itself had not given up on the partnership. That revelation made fans even more curious about what changed behind the scenes. If Jjwan Ramen still wanted to continue the partnership, then the decision not to renew likely came from broader strategic considerations rather than from dissatisfaction with the collaboration itself. From a business perspective, the rise of K-content has completely transformed the way Korean companies approach global marketing. Food companies are no longer relying solely on product quality to build international recognition. Instead, they are integrating entertainment intellectual property into long-term business strategies designed to expand their global presence. This is why the HYB joint venture is seen as more than just a marketing collaboration. It represents a structural partnership that combines the global influence of entertainment IP with the manufacturing and distribution capabilities of the food industry. Such partnerships are increasingly viewed as powerful engines for export growth. Paldo, which operates under HYBE, is well known for products like bibimbap. If BTS becomes the face of a new ramen campaign connected to this partnership, the brand could potentially experience the same explosive global growth that Jjwan Ramen experienced during Jin's endorsement period. For many fans, however, the emotional question remains: did Jjwan have to give up something that felt uniquely his? Jjwan Ramen was not just another brand deal. It was a partnership that felt personal, almost symbolic. Fans often joked that Jjwan Ramen seemed destined to be connected to Jjwan forever simply because of the shared name. Seeing that partnership end feels like the closing of a memorable chapter. Yet others interpret the decision differently. They see it as another example of Jjwan prioritizing the group above personal opportunities. Throughout his career, Jjwan has consistently emphasized that BTS comes first. His loyalty to the group has been one of his defining traits since the early days of their career. If maintaining the Jjwan Ramen contract risked creating complications for BTS's future projects, stepping away from that partnership could be seen as a deliberate and thoughtful choice. Rather than focusing on individual branding, Jjwan may have chosen to align himself fully with the group's upcoming activities. And those activities are expected to be significant. With BTS preparing for a long-awaited group comeback, major promotional campaigns are likely being carefully coordinated. Large-scale endorsements involving the entire group would naturally require unified branding strategies. In that context, Jin's decision makes sense from a strategic standpoint. Sacrificing a successful personal endorsement may have been necessary to maintain the integrity of a much larger group campaign. For fans, this situation highlights the complicated intersection between fandom emotions and corporate strategy. On one hand, fans feel deeply attached to the moments and partnerships that define an artist's public image. On the other hand, large-scale business decisions often involve factors far beyond what the public can see. Ultimately, the story behind Jin's decision not to renew his Jjwan Ramen contract appears to be tied to a much larger industry shift, one where entertainment companies and food manufacturers are forming deeper partnerships to capitalize on the global influence of K-culture. And within that shifting landscape, Jjwan once again appears to have made a choice that reflects his long-standing priorities. Even when faced with the opportunity to continue a highly successful personal endorsement, he chose to place the group's future first. For many fans, that decision may feel bittersweet. Jjwan Ramen represented a fun and memorable era that fans will always remember fondly. But it may also have laid the groundwork for something even bigger, an era where BTS's collective influence expands into entirely new industries. Whether through ramen, coffee, or other global products, one thing remains certain. The impact of BTS and of Jjwan himself continues to shape industries far beyond music.
구독, 좋아요, 알림 설정. Yeah, so fun. Okay, bye bye.